Have you ever stared at the ceiling at 2 a.m., wondering why you're here, what you're meant to do, and why nothing seems to be working? Do you feel like you're drifting? No map, no compass, no fire. You're not alone. But here's the truth: every towering oak was once a nut that held its ground. Every master once sat in confusion, looking for direction. And those who rise, they don't wait for clarity to find them. The deeper truth. They decide their direction. They claim their purpose. They move even when the path is foggy. If you're feeling lost, you're standing at the doorway of your greatest transformation. But only if you dare to walk through. When you find yourself drifting in the vast sea of uncertainty, feeling lost and aimless, it's often because your mind lacks a clear and definite purpose. Imagine a ship at sea without a rudder or a captain without a destination. No matter how strong the wind or how fierce the waves, the ship will wander without direction. The same applies to your life. Without a definite purpose, your thoughts scatter like leaves in a storm, and your energy dissipates with no real impact. The first step to breaking free from this fog of confusion is to find a single, burning desire, a goal so powerful that it pulls you forward like a magnet. This is not just any goal, but one that resonates deep within your soul, igniting your passion and stirring your commitment. The deeper tower of definiteness of purpose cannot be overstated. It is the difference between living a life of random happenstance and one of deliberate creation. Definiteness of purpose is more than just having a vague idea of what you want. It is having crystal clear clarity about what you intend to achieve. This clarity acts as a beacon in the darkest night, guiding your every decision, every action, and every thought. When your purpose is definite, your subconscious mind is able to latch onto it and work relentlessly behind the scenes to bring it to life. But why is definiteness so essential? Without it, the mind remains weak and scattered. You may feel pulled in 100 different directions, caught up in distractions and doubt, unsure of which path to take. Your energy becomes diluted and frustration grows. The fog thickens. The difference that definiteness makes is the creation of focus. Focus concentrates your mental and physical resources on one clear target, making success not just possible, but inevitable. Many who feel lost make the mistake of thinking that having multiple goals or interests is beneficial. They believe that casting a wide net increases their chances of catching success. But this only leads to paralysis by analysis, where no real progress is made because the mind is divided and overwhelmed. There is power in choosing one thing and committing fully to it. Like a laser beam, your attention and efforts will burn through obstacles and resistance when they are focused. Definiteness of purpose requires deep introspection and honesty. It is not enough to pick a goal because it sounds good or because others expect it. The purpose must be your own. It must stir a hunger inside you that will not be satisfied until it is fulfilled. This hunger fuels persistence and resilience when challenges arise. It turns setbacks into lessons and failures into stepping stones. Finding your definite purpose may take time. It is a process, not a momentary decision. You must dig beneath the surface distractions of daily life to uncover what truly matters to you. Ask yourself, what do I want so badly that I would gladly face any hardship to achieve it? What kind of legacy do I want to leave? What drives my spirit awake in the morning? Once you identify that purpose, write it down in clear and specific terms. This is crucial because putting your purpose into words transforms it from a vague idea into a concrete goal. The written word carries weight and power. It engages your subconscious mind, setting it to work like a loyal partner, seeking out opportunities, solutions, and connections that align with your purpose. But merely writing your purpose is not enough. You must review it daily. Make it the first thing you think of in the morning and the last thought before you sleep. Repeat it with conviction and belief. This repetition impresses the goal deeply into your mind, creating what might be called a mental blueprint that guides your actions. With a definite purpose in place, your mind begins to filter out distractions and negative influences. You will notice a shift in how you respond to setbacks. Instead of feeling discouraged, you begin to see obstacles as challenges to be overcome. Your mindset becomes solution-oriented. You begin to spot opportunities where others see dead ends. This shift in perspective is the key that unlocks the door to success. In addition to providing focus, definiteness of purpose fosters confidence. When you know exactly what you want, you naturally project certainty and clarity. This confidence is magnetic. It attracts people, resources, and ideas that support your journey. The deeper truth, your environment responds to the clarity you project, opening doors that once seemed firmly closed. One of the most powerful effects of definiteness of purpose is its ability to activate what might be called the law of attraction. When your thoughts and emotions align consistently with a clear goal, you send out a vibration that draws toward you everything necessary for its accomplishment. This doesn't mean you sit passively and wait. On the contrary, it means that your actions become purposeful and aligned. The deeper truth, you begin to notice coincidences, connections, and serendipitous moments that push you closer to your objective. Many who feel lost have yet to experience this magnetic power because their goals are hazy or conflicting. Without a single clear purpose, the law of attraction loses its effectiveness. The universe, or your own subconscious, can only respond accurately when your signal is strong and unwavering. The journey toward definiteness of purpose also transforms your relationship with fear and doubt. These negative emotions thrive in uncertainty. When your purpose is unclear, fear whispers that you will fail, that you don't know enough, or that the risk is too great. But a strong purpose serves as an antidote to fear. It becomes the anchor that holds you steady when storms arise, reminding you why you must keep moving. As you embrace definiteness of purpose, you will also discover a heightened sense of personal responsibility. You no longer blame circumstances, other people, or luck for your current state. Instead, you accept full ownership of your life and your choices. This ownership is empowering, for it means you hold the key to change. There is no room for indecision in the realm of definiteness. Every action you take becomes a deliberate step toward your goal. You begin to measure your progress in tangible terms. You learn to prioritize tasks that serve your purpose and discard those that do not. This unwavering focus does not mean rigidity. It means adaptability guided by a clear destination. You may need to adjust your tactics, but your purpose remains the constant North Star. When you face setbacks, you analyze, learn, and pivot, always keeping your eyes on the prize. Definiteness of purpose is the foundation upon which all success is built. It fuels motivation, sharpens focus, activates your inner resources, the deeper truth, and aligns your actions with your deepest desires. It turns confusion into clarity and doubt into determination. At the core of every great achievement lies an unshakable faith in one's own abilities. When you feel lost, when doubt creeps in and clouds your vision, it is often because faith in yourself is weakened or never fully formed. Faith is not merely a hopeful feeling or blind optimism. It is a deeply rooted conviction that you possess the power to overcome obstacles, to learn, and to create your own success regardless of circumstances. Faith in yourself is the invisible engine driving all progress. It fuels your courage when fear threatens to paralyze you. It empowers your persistence when challenges seem insurmountable, and it sustains your hope when the world appears to be closing in. Without faith, even the clearest purpose and the boldest plans falter. Doubt is the silent enemy that sneaks in and drains your energy, leaving you stuck and disheartened. Many who feel lost confuse faith with arrogance or overconfidence. True faith, however, is humble and realistic. It acknowledges limitations and weaknesses, but refuses to be defined or limited by them. It is an unwavering belief that you can grow, improve, and ultimately achieve what you set your mind to, even when the evidence isn't immediately visible. This faith is a choice, a conscious decision to trust in your potential and to reject the voice of discouragement. Faith in yourself begins with a simple but profound practice speaking positively to your mind and heart. The words you use to describe yourself and your circumstances shape your beliefs. Negative self-talk, I can't, I'm not good enough, this is impossible, plant seeds of doubt and fear that grow into barriers. But affirmations of faith, I am capable, I will find a way, every challenge is an opportunity, nurture confidence and resilience. This inner dialogue, when repeated consistently, rewires your mind to see possibilities instead of problems. It programs your subconscious to work toward solutions rather than stumbling over obstacles. Faith is strengthened each time you replace fear with a positive thought, and every small victory becomes proof of your growing ability. Another powerful aspect of faith in yourself is its role in shaping your emotional state. Fear and doubt create tension, anxiety, and hesitation. Faith, on the other hand, brings peace, clarity, and decisive action. When you truly believe in your potential, you move through uncertainty with a calm confidence that attracts favorable circumstances. This emotional shift is not trivial. It changes how you interact with the world and how the world responds to you. History is full of examples of people who overcame tremendous odds because of their faith in themselves. They faced rejection, failure, and criticism, yet their inner belief remained intact. This faith gave them the strength to persist when others gave up, to keep pushing forward when the path was dark and uncertain. It is a trait that can be cultivated by anyone willing to take the necessary mental and emotional steps. Faith also functions as a filter for your thoughts and choices. When your belief in yourself is strong, you begin to reject ideas, people, and situations that undermine your confidence. You develop a sense of discernment that protects your energy and focus. You choose to surround yourself with influences that reinforce your faith and inspire growth. It's important to understand that faith is not static. It can fluctuate depending on your experiences and mindset. You may feel strong and confident one day and uncertain the next. This is natural, but the key is to build faith as a habit, a discipline that you return to again and again, especially when challenges arise. Like a muscle, faith grows stronger with use and with deliberate care. Faith in yourself also opens the door to creativity and innovation. When you trust your ability to figure things out, you are more willing to take risks, to try new approaches, and to learn from mistakes. Fear of failure shrinks and curiosity expands. This mindset leads to breakthroughs and unexpected opportunities because you no longer see failure as a dead end, but as part of the learning process. Your faith acts as a beacon that guides your actions. It fuels decisiveness and boldness. When you believe you can succeed, you are more likely to take the initiative rather than wait for perfect conditions or permission from others. This proactive energy creates momentum, building a cycle of positive results that reinforce your belief even further. Faith in yourself is closely connected to the concept of self-respect. When you hold yourself in high regard and trust your inner wisdom, you naturally set boundaries that protect your well-being and your goals. You refuse to settle for less than what you deserve, and you assert your right to pursue your dreams with dignity. This respect also shows up in how you handle criticism and setbacks. People who lack faith are easily shaken by negative feedback or failure. Those with strong faith understand that these experiences do not define them. Instead, they use criticism as constructive insight and failures as temporary lessons. Their belief in their ultimate success remains unshaken. Faith in yourself is not a secret or mystical power reserved for a select few. It is a natural ability available to everyone who is willing to cultivate it. The process begins by recognizing the power of your thoughts, choosing to nurture positive beliefs, and consistently reinforcing your confidence through action. In moments when the weight of doubt feels heaviest, remind yourself that faith is a choice you make each day. It is the decision to rise above fear and uncertainty and to trust your inner strength. It is the commitment to keep moving forward, not because the path is always clear, but because you believe in your capacity to find the way. This faith creates a foundation of inner security. It frees you from the need for constant external validation or approval. You become your own source of encouragement and motivation. This independence strengthens your resilience and allows you to weather storms that would otherwise leave you defeated. Faith also has a contagious quality. When you carry a strong belief in yourself, you inspire others to believe as well. Your confidence can create a ripple effect, attracting allies, mentors, and opportunities. People are naturally drawn to those who demonstrate conviction and self-assurance. When life's challenges press down on you and the path forward seems unclear or blocked, it is persistence that separates those who ultimately succeed from those who give up feeling lost and defeated. The deep persistence is the unwavering commitment to continue moving your goal, regardless of obstacles, delays, or temporary failures. It is not a simple trait, but a cultivated force of will that powers you through doubt, discouragement, and difficulty. The moment you decide to pursue a definite purpose, you will inevitably encounter resistance. It is not a question of if, but when and how often. This resistance can take many forms: external opposition, unforeseen setbacks, personal weaknesses, or the subtle but powerful temptation to quit. The world tests every ambition with trials, but it is the persistent individual who understands that each challenge is a stepping stone rather than a roadblock. Persistence means refusing to allow temporary defeat to dictate the course of your journey. It means getting back up every time you fall and moving forward even when progress seems invisible or insignificant. The majority of people who fail do because they stopped just before success would arrive. This makes persistence one of the most crucial elements of triumph. When you cultivate persistence, you develop an inner resourcefulness that keeps your focus alive despite tractions or discouragement. It is persistence that transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary results. The difference between those who reach their goals and those who do not is often how long they are willing to hold on and keep trying. One of the key reasons persistence is so powerful is because it builds momentum. Success is rarely a sudden event. It is the cumulative effect of consistent effort applied over time. Each action, no matter how small, creates a ripple effect. Persistence maintains the flow of effort, allowing those ripples to grow into waves that carry you toward your purpose. At times, persistence requires patience. Not all results are immediate or visible. The deeper truth: it is easy to become discouraged when you don't see progress right away, but true persistence understands the value of time and trusts in the process. It maintains faith that seeds you plant today will bear fruit tomorrow, even if you cannot yet see the harvest. Another dimension of persistence is the ability to adapt. Stubbornness without flexibility can lead to futile effort, but persistence combined with openness to learning and adjustment becomes a dynamic force. It means holding fast to your purpose while being willing to change tactics, improve skills, and embrace new strategies when necessary. The power of persistence also lies in its ability to reinforce your confidence. Every time you overcome a setback, you prove to yourself that you are stronger and more capable than your fears or doubts suggested. This growing confidence fuels further persistence, creating a positive cycle that propels you forward. Many great achievers have shared stories of how their persistence was tested to the brink. They faced repeated failures, rejection, or criticism, the deeper truth, yet they refused to quit. This refusal was not born of blind stubbornness, but of a deep conviction that their purpose was worth fighting for. They viewed obstacles not as permanent barriers, but as temporary tests of their resolve. Persistence is more than simply trying again. It is a mindset that keeps your eyes on the goal, regardless of the circumstances. It demands discipline to keep taking action, day after day, even when enthusiasm wanes. This discipline is what separates fleeting effort from sustained progress. Your persistence also communicates a message to your subconscious mind. It tells your inner self that you are serious and committed. This internal signal activates creativity and problem-solving abilities that might otherwise remain dormant. Persistence sharpens your focus, making your mind more alert to opportunities and solutions. In practical terms, persistence means setting daily, weekly, and monthly goals that keep you steadily advancing. It means breaking your definite purpose into manageable steps and consistently taking those steps, no matter how small. It is through this steady, ongoing effort that what once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. It is important to recognize that persistence does not require perfection. You do not need to have every skill or piece of knowledge from the start. What matters most is your willingness to keep learning and to keep going even when you make mistakes. Mistakes are not failures, but valuable feedback on how to improve. When you feel tempted to give up, remind yourself that every successful person has faced that same temptation. What made the difference was persistence, the choice to push beyond discomfort, uncertainty, and frustration. This choice transforms ordinary individuals into extraordinary achievers. Persistence also builds resilience. Each time you persist through difficulty, you strengthen your ability to cope with future challenges. You develop emotional toughness and mental endurance. The deeper resilience becomes a shield that protects your faith and your purpose from being shattered by setbacks. Your environment also responds to persistence. People are naturally drawn to those who demonstrate steadfast commitment. This can open doors to new opportunities, partnerships, and support that may not have been available to someone who gives up easily. Persistence creates a reputation of reliability and determination that attracts allies. Furthermore, persistence fuels your creative power. When one approach fails, persistence encourages you to try another. It pushes you to innovate and explore alternatives. Many breakthroughs come only after repeated attempts and failures. Without persistence, these discoveries would never be made. Persistence is an expression of hope. The deeper truth, I believe the goal is possible, and I am willing to endure to reach it. This hopeful attitude sustains your energy and enthusiasm. The deed helps you see beyond current difficulties to the promise of future success. In cultivating persistence, it is helpful to remind yourself why your definite purpose matters so deeply. The deeper truth, connecting with your inner motivation, strengthens your commitment and gives you the emotional fuel to persevere. Your purpose becomes the reason you refuse to quit, the light that guides you through the darkest moments. Persistence is also a form of self-respect. By refusing to give up on your dreams, you honor your potential and your worth. You affirm that your goals are worthy of effort and sacrifice. This respect for yourself builds confidence and reinforces your faith. To develop persistence, surround yourself with reminders of your purpose and examples of those who have succeeded through persistence. These influences provide encouragement and inspiration when your own strength falters. They remind you that persistence is a learned skill, not an innate talent. It's important to understand that persistence does not mean working blindly without reflection. It means continuing forward with intention, learning, and courage. Each step, each attempt is a conscious choice to move closer to your goal. When you embrace the power of persistence, you gain a powerful ally in your journey. It transforms feelings of being lost into steady progress. It turns hesitation into decisive action. It converts temporary failure into the foundation of lasting success. Fear is the silent killer of dreams. It hides in hesitation, in the quiet moments of self-doubt, in the delays we justify with excuses. It dresses itself in logic, wears the mask of caution, and often speaks in the voice of reason. But beneath every lost opportunity and abandoned goal, fear is often the unseen force that holds people back. When you feel lost, overwhelmed, or frozen in place, it is often not a lack of ability or resources that stops you. It is fear. To master fear, one must first understand its nature. Fear is not always a loud scream or a racing heart. Most of the time, it whispers. It whispers when you have a new idea but choose not to act. It whispers when you think about speaking up, taking a step forward, or pursuing something meaningful, but you hold yourself back. Fear is subtle, persistent, and deceptive. It thrives in the unknown and grows stronger in inaction. There are many forms of fear: fear of criticism, fear of failure, fear of poverty, fear of rejection, fear of not being good enough. But at the root of all these is one core fear, the fear of loss. The mind is naturally conditioned to avoid pain and risk, and fear manipulates this instinct by exaggerating the consequences of failure. It paints a picture of what could go wrong, what might be lost, and how devastating the fallout would be. It rarely speaks of growth, experience, or what might be gained. Mastery over fear does not mean the absence of fear. It means acting in spite of it. It means recognizing the voice of fear and refusing to let it dictate your decisions. Courage is not a feeling, it is an action. And every time you take action in the presence of fear, you reclaim a piece of your power. You begin to rewrite the narrative that fear has tried to write for you. The human mind cannot hold both fear within the same moment. One always drives out the other. If fear dominates your thoughts, it paralyzes your will and clouds your vision. But if you fill your mind with faith, faith in your purpose, in your potential, in the worthiness of your mission, then fear begins to shrink. It loses its grip. It becomes a shadow instead of a wall. One of the most effective ways to master fear is through knowledge and preparation. Much of what we fear is rooted in uncertainty. We fear what we do not understand. We fear what we haven't yet tried. But when you study, when you practice, when you prepare, knowledge disarms fear. Preparation builds confidence. Every skill you learn, every small challenge you overcome chips away at the power fear holds over you. Your imagination is one of your most powerful tools, but it can be turned against you. Left unchecked, the imagination feeds fear by creating worst-case scenarios, imagining every possible failure and humiliation. But when you train your imagination to focus on success, to visualize yourself overcoming obstacles and achieving your goals, you begin to rewire your emotional responses. The same faculty that once paralyzed you becomes your source of inspiration and drive. Mastery over fear also requires discipline of thought. Fear enters the mind through suggestion, through the words of others, the media we consume, the past experiences we relive. You must become the gatekeeper of your mind. Allow only thoughts that serve your purpose to take root. Reject suggestions that weaken your belief in yourself. Surround yourself with voices and influences that reinforce your courage, not your doubt. Your environment plays a role in either feeding or starting your fears. People who constantly talk about limitations, risks, and reasons not act will reinforce your hesitation. But those who encourage, uplift, and believe in possibilities help you rise above fear. Choose your environment deliberately. Build a circle of influence that fuels your faith and challenges your limitations. Another key to mastering fear is action. Fear feeds on delay. The longer you wait to take a step, the louder fear becomes. But the moment you take action, however small, you begin to regain control. Action is the antidote to fear. It transforms uncertainty into experience, and experience builds confidence. The more often you confront what you fear, the less power it has over you. Self-awareness is essential. You must be able to observe your fear without becoming enslaved by it. Ask yourself, what am I really afraid of? Is this fear based on truth, or is it a projection of my imagination? What is the worst that can happen, and can I handle it? These questions bring clarity and dissolve the fog that fear creates. Fear also loses its power when you accept that failure is not fatal. Often, the fear of making a mistake stops people from even trying. But every successful person has failed, often many times. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of it. When you begin to see failure as feedback, as a lesson, as a necessary chapter in your growth, fear starts to loosen its grip. Developing mastery over fear requires repetition. It is not a one-time battle, but a daily discipline. Each day presents new opportunities to either retreat or rise. Each moment offers a choosing to shrink back or to step forward. And every time you choose courage over comfort, your capacity for growth expands. Fear may still appear from time to time, especially when you step into unfamiliar territory or pursue something bold. But as your awareness grows and as your actions accumulate, fear loses its ability to stop you. It becomes a signal, not to retreat, the deeper truth, but to advance. It becomes a challenge, not a void, but to conquer. It becomes a teacher, not of limitation, but of strength. The feeling of being lost often stems from a lack of clear direction, an absence of definiteness of purpose. When the mind is scattered, drifting aimlessly without a clear goal or objective, confusion and frustration settle in. Definiteness of purpose is the foundation upon which every success story is built. It is the single, unwavering aim that focuses your energy, sharpens your decision-making, the deeper truth, and aligns your efforts toward a meaningful end. Without definiteness of purpose, life becomes a series of distractions, detours, and indecision. You wander through your days without a clear vision of what you want or why you want it. This lack of clarity breeds dissatisfaction, anxiety, and that gnawing sense of being lost. On the other hand, those who possess a definite purpose possess a magnetic force that draws opportunity, resources, and ideas to them like a powerful current. Definiteness of purpose is more than just having a goal. It is a deeply held conviction, a compelling reason for your existence. It is the internal fire that fuels your persistence and ignites your faith. When your purpose is definite, you can navigate challenges with confidence because you know exactly what you're moving toward, even when the path is uncertain. This clarity transforms your mental state. It aligns your thoughts, emotions, and actions. You stop wasting energy on irrelevant or contradictory pursuits. Your mind becomes a tool finely tuned to focus on what matters most. Every choice becomes easier because you measure it against your purpose. Does this action bring me closer to my definite aim? If yes, then move forward. If not, discard and redirect. The definiteness of purpose also shapes the subconscious mind. The subconscious is a powerful force, constantly working in the background to translate your dominant thoughts and beliefs into reality. When you feed it a clear and definite purpose, your subconscious mobilizes every resource at your disposal to help you achieve it. This includes creativity, intuition, and the ability to recognize opportunities. Clarity of purpose influences the decisions you make daily. When faced with multiple options or challenges, a definite purpose serves as your compass. It filters out distractions and noise, allowing you to concentrate on the steps that truly matter. This focused attention multiplies your effectiveness and accelerates your progress. One of the biggest obstacles to definiteness of purpose is the fear of choosing wrong. Many people paralyzed because they worry about committing to a single direction. They believe that if they choose one path, they are closing doors on other possibilities. This fear leads to indecision and stagnation, but the truth is that a definite purpose does not have to be rigid or unchangeable. It can evolve as you grow and learn. The key is to start with a clear intention and adjust as you gain experience. Another challenge is confusion caused by conflicting desires or values. When your goals are scattered across many unrelated areas, your efforts become diluted. The mind struggles to hold opposing aims simultaneously, leading to frustration and exhaustion. To achieve definiteness of purpose, you must prioritize what matters most to you and align your goals accordingly. Definiteness of purpose creates a sense of responsibility and ownership for your life. When you have a clear goal, you stop blaming external circumstances or other people for your condition. You accept full responsibility for your success or failure. This ownership empowers you to take control of your actions and decisions, the knowing that you are the architect of your future. The power of definiteness of purpose is also reflected in the energy it generates. Purpose-driven individuals often experience a surge of enthusiasm, motivation, and resilience. This energy carries them through difficult times when lesser wills might falter. It creates a sense of meaning that makes sacrifices and challenges worthwhile. In addition, the finiteness of purpose strengthens your confidence. When you know what you want and why you want it, you stand taller and speak with conviction. Others sense this confidence and are naturally drawn to support and believe in you. Your purpose becomes a beacon that attracts mentors, partners, and opportunities aligned with your vision. Developing definiteness of purpose involves introspection and clarity. It requires honest self-examination to understand your values, passions, and talents. What stirs your soul? What impact do you want to have? What legacy do you wish to leave behind? Answering these questions lays the groundwork for a purpose that is uniquely yours. Writing down your definite purpose is a powerful step in solidifying it. When you put your aim into words, you externalize your commitment. This act crystallizes your intention and sends a clear signal to your mind and to the universe. Review and revise your written purpose regularly to keep it fresh and vivid in your consciousness. Another vital part of definiteness of purpose is creating a plan of action. Purpose without plan is merely wishful thinking. Your plan outlines the steps you will take, the skills you need to acquire, and the milestones you will achieve. It acts as a roadmap, guiding you through the journey with direction and momentum. When obstacles arise, and they inevitably will, definiteness of purpose keeps you anchored. You remember why you started and what you are working toward. This remembrance rekindles your determination and helps you overcome setbacks. Without a clear purpose, obstacles can become excuses to quit. Definiteness of purpose also helps manage your time and priorities. The deeper truth, time is your most valuable resource, and with a definite aim, you allocate it wisely. The deeper truth, you focus on high-impact activities that push you closer to your goal rather than scattering your efforts on trivial or unrelated matters. The deeper clarity that comes with definiteness of purpose sharpens your creative problem-solving. When you face difficulties, your mind is more likely to find innovative solutions because it is directed by a strong intention. This clarity reduces overwhelm and confusion, enabling you to act decisively. Definiteness of purpose is contagious. When you express your vision clearly and passionately, you inspire others to believe in it too. This can create a support network that amplifies your efforts and opens doors that might otherwise remain closed. Your purpose becomes a rallying point, not only for you, but for those around you. Ultimately, definiteness of purpose is the antidote to feeling lost. It transforms wandering thoughts into focused ambition, scattered energy into purposeful action, and confusion into clarity. It is the compass that guides you through uncertainty and the anchor that holds you steady in storms. Every great accomplishment begins first in the mind, unseen, intangible, and often unexplainable. Before a single brick is laid, a vision is formed. Before a product is created, a solution is imagined. Before a dream becomes reality, faith must be present. Faith in the unseen is the inner conviction that something exists, even when the senses provide no evidence. It is the invisible foundation on which all visible success is built. The person who feels lost is not lacking in potential but in belief. When doubt clouds the mind, progress stalls. The moment you believe that your future is not possible, your actions begin to reflect that belief. But the moment you anchor your thoughts in faith in your purpose, in your capacity, in the possibilities that lie ahead, you ignite a creative force that defies logic, overrides obstacles, and opens doors that once seemed sealed shut. Faith is not wishful thinking. It is not blind hope or idle optimism. Faith is certainty without sight. It is the ability to act boldly and confidently, not because the path is visible. The truth, the destination is believed in with such intensity that the path reveals itself. It is the quiet assurance that what you hold in your heart can become what you hold in your hand. Every invention, movement, or breakthrough that has changed the course of history was once unseen. It existed only in the mind of one individual who dared to believe in it. That belief was so strong, so unwavering, that no ridicule, delay, or hardship could extinguish it. This is the essence of faith in the unseen, a belief so rooted in purpose that external conditions become secondary. The mind is the gateway to either fear or faith. What you dwell upon, you attract. When the mind is filled with fear, it sees only limitations and risks. But when filled with faith, it sees opportunity in every difficulty and light in every shadow. This shift in perception transforms the way you interpret your world. What once seemed like an impassable mountain becomes a manageable climb. Faith is not passive, it is active. It requires mental discipline and emotional resilience. You must train yourself to reject thoughts of limitation, doubt, and failure. This does not mean denying reality, but rather refusing to be enslaved by it. Circumstances may appear unfavorable, but faith knows that conditions change. It holds fast to a vision that transcends the temporary. To develop faith in the unseen, one must cultivate imagination. Imagination is the workshop of the soul. It is the ability to create mental pictures of things not yet experienced. What you repeatedly visualize with emotion and clarity begins to take root in your subconscious mind. The subconscious, in turn, guides your actions, influences your behavior, and reshapes your environment to match your dominant mental image. This is why belief is more powerful than knowledge. A person may know all the technical details of success, yet still fail if they do not believe. Meanwhile, someone with limited resources but unshakable faith can accomplish more than what others believe possible. Faith fuels persistence, multiplies effort, and summons inner resources you did not know you possessed. Faith in the unseen requires you to trust in the timing of life. There will be moments when nothing seems to be happening, when results are delayed, when silence fills the gap between effort and reward. But these are not empty moments. They are periods of preparation, transformation, and alignment. Faith keeps you grounded during these seasons, reminding you that growth often occurs beneath the surface before it becomes visible above. To maintain faith in the unseen, surround yourself with voices of encouragement. Guard your mind against cynicism, negativity, and constant doubt. Engage with ideas, people, and environments that nurture your belief. You cannot consistently produce greatness if you are constantly exposed to doubt. Choose your influences deliberately, as they shape the soil in which your faith either flourishes or withers. Affirmations play a vital role in reinforcing faith. When you speak your vision aloud, daily, repeatedly, and with conviction, you program your mind to accept it as truth. Words shape belief, and belief shapes action. Every time you affirm your goal, you are feeding faith and starving doubt. This verbal reinforcement helps anchor your vision, especially when external evidence is lacking. Faith also demands decision. Indecision is the enemy of belief. The person who hesitates, questions, and second guesses every step weakens their own confidence. But the one who decides boldly, even imperfectly, sends a signal to their subconscious that their vision is real and worthy of pursuit. Decision backed by faith moves mountains and parts seas that logic could not explain. The emotions you associate with your faith determine its strength. Faith infused with love, passion, and gratitude becomes unstoppable. It magnetizes people, resources, and circumstances to support your aim. But faith polluted by fear and neediness becomes fragile. The goal is not just to believe, but to feel your belief so deeply that it becomes a living force within you. Faith in the unseen is also tested in adversity. When things fall apart, when plans fail, when support disappears, it is your faith that will carry you forward. It becomes your inner light, your invisible hand, your compass when the path ahead is obscured. Adversity does not destroy faith, it reveals it. It strips away superficial confidence and exposes what you truly believe. Your results will always mirror your belief. If you expect little, you receive little. If you expect abundance, growth, and victory, even before the signs appear, your mind begins to operate on a different frequency. You move with greater confidence. You attract solutions. You recognize synchronicities that others dismiss as coincidence. You begin to live it not by what is, but by what can be. This is why those with deep faith are often misunderstood. They speak of visions that others cannot yet see. They act on convictions that defy common sense. But in time, their faith materializes into tangible outcomes, and what was once invisible to others becomes undeniable. This is the alchemy of faith, the transmutation of thought into reality, the unseen into the seen. Faith must be directed. It is not enough to believe in something. You must believe in something specific. A vague belief produces vague results. But a focused belief tied to a definite purpose becomes a laser beam that cuts through resistance. It aligns every cell of your being with your goal and charges your spirit with relentless energy. No one else can supply your faith. It must be chosen, nurtured, and protected by you. Others may believe in you, but it is your own belief that sets you free. Faith begins as a decision, grows through repetition, and becomes a habit. And once it becomes a habit, it becomes a way of life. When you feel lost, remember that within you lies the power to reclaim your path. Mastery over fear frees your mind to act boldly. Definite plans give your journey clarity and direction. Your mind, when focused, becomes a tool of limitless potential. Every challenge is an opportunity to grow stronger. Purpose fuels your will, sharpening your resolve to keep moving forward. And faith, the faith in what is not yet seen, ignites the spark that turns into reality. You are not wandering aimlessly, you are in the process of becoming. The moment you commit to these principles, you step into a new dimension of possibility. Trust the process, trust yourself, and most importantly, trust that the power to create the life you envision has always been within you, waiting for you to awaken it. The journey from feeling lost to being unstoppable begins with a single decision: to believe, to act, and to persist. Your destiny is calling. It is time to answer.